Hello, true duelists. My name is Craig Fee, and welcome to the New Card Report. The video I make sometimes when there are too many new cards for the regular update, and because more videos helps my channel out in regard to the algorithm. This week, we've got a look at the new TCG exclusive archetype from Photon Hypernova. All thanks to a video reveal from the one and only Konami representative Douglas Zeef, and from nowhere else. And if anyone even thinks of suggesting a different place where these cards might have had their effects revealed, you can, no, you're wrong. I'm the newsman now, and I'm telling you the facts. The only place we got this information was from Doug Zeef. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. We already know Leon's effect from a reveal earlier. That is a quick effect synchro summon and an in-archetype Wolfbark on summon, which is far from the worst way to start a deck out in regards to new archetypes. But we move next to Gold Pride Nitro Head, a level 8 Pyro monster with 2300 attack and 2600 defense. It has the same effect that it turns out all Gold Pride main deck monsters have, being able to special summon themselves from hand if you have less life points than the opponent. During your opponent's standby phase, this card will let you summon a Nitro token, a level 8 with donuts in the stat line, to the opponent's field, but that token cannot be used as link material. The other effect is a quick effect to target a Nitro token on the field and destroy it, as well as all cards in adjacent monster zones and spell and trap zones. What an effect. The only thing crazier than a potential +4 from popping 4 cards with this effect is the fact that you will almost certainly never be able to do that, because once you place this in the zone, they know which zones to avoid, as long as they have competent reading skills. Shout out to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Players can't read joke that I'm not gonna make. No, this is something, I don't know, I'm a little underwhelmed. Just as a fun fact for you, the new Apple Dragon Tuner from Cyberstorm Access is a free Baron for the opponent without using their normal summon once you give them this token. So, overall, it is an effect, and I would say it's not that great of a follow-up to Leon. Gold Pride Captain Carry is an alliteration, so I like it. This is a level 3 water attribute fiend with 900 attack and 1700 defense, with the standard summon from hand based on life points, and on normal or special summon will add a Gold Pride trap card from your deck to your hand. Its other effect activates when sent to the graveyard, letting you banish up to 3 Gold Pride cards from your grave to give a Gold Pride monster you control that was summoned from the extra deck 500 attack for each card banished. Well, it searches the trap. We can confirm that. If the trap sucks, I'm going to laugh, but holy shit, both of these monsters seem weak in compared to how promising Leon was at the start. It's almost impressive. And onto their synchro, the main thing I'm excited for. Gold Pride Star Leon is a level 6 with generic materials to summon and has 2000 attack and defense. During the main phase, it can quick effect target an opponent's monster to gain attack equal to that monster's original attack, and then if you have less life points than the opponent, that monster is also destroyed. That is a once per turn effect, and if you use that effect, this card will return itself to the extra deck and summon a Gold Pride Leon from your deck or graveyard. Good God, that's underwhelming. Maybe it pops something. Maybe. It might. And also it has the Neos fusion effect that made that whole archetype unplayable. They just get that too for free, for no reason. I do like that the token that you give the opponent with the Nitro Head has 0 attack, so you can't even synergize with this card to buff it on your own turn, maybe, if you just wanted to go for a big punch. That's really cool. So, yeah, I'm pretty underwhelmed with this deck at the moment. Have I said that word enough? Moving on from this disappointment, let's get on to the Link 2. Yep, they've got a Link 2 as well. I think it also has the shitty Neos bounce effect. I bet it does. I bet you it does. Gold Pride Nitro Blaster is a Link 2 with 2300 attack and arrows pointing up and down. It requires 2 Gold Pride monsters with different levels to summon, and its effect is marginally better than Nitro Heads, requiring you to have less life points than the opponent, but will target and destroy any monster, not just the token you gave them, as well as all cards in the adjacent zones. This is also somewhat worse though because it's not a quick effect, it's in your main phase only. Cool. And yes, if you use this effect, you do bounce to the extra deck in the end phase. But it'll summon a copy of Nitro Head to give them another token, so... Huh? Look, I get that it just says monster zones and not main or extra, so it's pretty safe to assume that popping a card in the middle monster zone will also clear the extra monster zones from the opponent, but it doesn't make up for needing 2 Gold Pride monsters with different levels, which does mean Leon and Nitro Head, as opposed to the level 11 Synchro that's probably just better. Right? Right? Who knows? Moving on to their spell and trap, they have 1 apiece so far. Gold Pride, The Crowd Goes Wild, is a normal spell that lets you reveal a Gold Pride monster in your hand and add a differently named Gold Pride monster from your deck to your hand, and then summon any Gold Pride monster from your hand, but you will lose life points equal to its original attack. Notably, this does nothing when banished, so the Pirate monster's effect does nothing for you, but buff a monster who will bounce itself to the extra deck in the end phase. Incredible. This is decent for the deck. This is, what, a somewhat weaker bird call? It's Rhoda and E-Telly all in one, plus it lowers your life points to make your effects and summoning live. The card is great for the deck, don't get me wrong, it's just that the deck itself isn't all that great. And lastly, we've got Gold Pride. Start your engine! That's exactly right, Gold Pride, start your engines. This is a normal trap card that if the opponent normal or special summons a monster, can target one of those monsters, reveal 3 Gold Pride monsters from your deck, and then the opponent will randomly pick one for you to special summon, after which the other 2 revealed monsters get shuffled back into the deck, and the targeted monster is destroyed. Again, no effect when banished, so there's no synergy for the card that searches this, and it's solid. Again, an E-Telly and a bit of disruption, but it feels mostly like a decent card when you ignore that the monsters you're summoning are so goddamn underwhelming. Again, have I said that word enough? Have I said underwhelming? Have I made it clear what my thoughts are on this archetype? I don't know that I have. Matter of fact, no I haven't, so let me state it again. Underwhelming as shit. Look, I wanted a decent Synchro deck to fool around with, and so far what I've seen are secret rares that will destroy the value of any box that I hope to open for myself. As stated, these cards do have some solid effects in there. It doesn't seem like there's any actual synergy between any of the monsters, however. The Pyro wanting to pop things, the Tuner wants to summon monsters from the grave to make a Synchro that has the most underwhelming disruption effect of all time, and then you've got a card to banish and buff monsters on the field, but also if you use any monster effect that you buff, they go to the extra deck. So it wants you to play these cards like vanillas. That's cool. And even the pops from the Pyro are dependent on the opponent's actions in some caliber. If placing cards in the exact specific columns can play around the only meaningful play you have, then it's pretty easy to play around the only meaningful play you have. Not to mention, the only in-archetype card to actually lower your life points, which everything seems to want, is one spell card that is unsearchable. Just saying. That is just my take, however. There are some synergies with Punk decks, and the deck does have access to that level 11 with Leon and the Pyro, which works well for both strategies, both Gold Pride and Punk. So maybe it's not meant to be played as an independent deck, but teching in a few cards as an engine in other Synchro strategies. Who's to say for sure? Me. I'm pretty sure this is garbage when you play it pure. There is going to be a second wave come Cyberstorm Access, and the Pirate will almost certainly be getting an extra deck version based on the theme thus far, and maybe then they'll get a spell card searcher, because as of now, that spell card is the best thing they have, you know, no questions asked. The problem is you need to hard draw it. Overall, it's another common TCG exclusive letdown, and quite a depressing segue into today's sponsor. Yes, shoutouts of course go to the sponsor, the LIFD Magnetic Display. A great way to display your favorite cards for your favorite card game of choice, or the secret rare gold Pride card you pulled to try and make it appear to have more value than it actually has when trying to get rid of it. I'm kidding of course, don't scam people, that's a dick move. Instead, support the channel if you can by using promo code YGOSTRATS15 for 15% off your purchase, or by clicking the link in the description, and get yourself one of these great displays. Thanks again to LIFD for the support, and thanks to you as always for watching. And so, that'll wrap it up for today's new card report. Just covering the new cards in this one, the regular update will be out on Friday as usual. Until then, I've been your host, Craig Fee, and make sure you subscribe to YGO Strats to impress your smokin' Italian wife, and so you too can be a true duelist.